And if you can listen while we get started, I'd appreciate it. Okay. Your chapter leadership is up here up front. We've got a couple other stewards. There's Nick. Yeah. Okay. I'll start off. I'm Catherine Plunkett. I work in the art department. If you need to call on me, I am a steward and the chief steward. So if you call on me, I may ask one of these other stewards to help you because we don't want you waiting too long to get a response back.
I'm Chris Shirey. I'm the treasurer. I work at Faculty Teaching and Learning Center in the library. And what?
You're a steward.
I'm a steward.
What? I'm Jenna Lawrence. I'm with Criminal Justice. I'm the organizing chair for the union. I manage the group lists for all the units. So if you're not receiving any of our communications, please let me know. Just send me a message. And also, I wanted to talk about real quick reviving Solidarity Wednesdays. It's Tomorrow's Wednesday. If you guys want to wear blue, union stuff, whatever, show your support. All right. Thank you.
My name is Tammy Jacks. I work in Walter W. Stern Library, and I'm a steward for Unit 9.
Thank you. Nick is a steward. He's back there helping to set up still. Thank you, Nick. James is a steward, and he can be found sometimes in the music room in classroom building. And we have our labor relations representative here with us, Frank Polito, in the back assisting you guys getting your plates. We have his phone number, we have his email address. If you need to talk directly to him, email one of us and we'll give you that information. Okay, so we're called to order, and the minutes will be tabled for today. We don't have them ready for you to read and hopefully approve. My report is the update on Assembly Bill 1231, the restoration of steps. And I know you've all heard from headquarters directly. I really appreciate our communications committee from headquarters that is getting this information out to us quickly, and it's information we can count on. They hate sending out anything wrong, so if you see something, let us know, because they don't want stuff out there that's wrong. Needless to say, how many do you think are disappointed with the steps bill not going through? Yeah, well, have you ever heard of a veto override? Okay, well, there's still hope. And you know that kitten picture where it's hanging by its claws? That's me. I'm thinking, okay, so here's the deal. If there are other things that the Assembly or the Senate want to readdress as far as what has been vetoed, there could be another meeting, I believe, in early November. If there are bigger reasons than us for the whole legislature to get together and go over these vetoes, then we might be heard. So keep us in your prayers and good thoughts. Yes?
Did the governor give a veto message, say why he
He did.
Yes, he did. I don't have it in front of me, but I'll
I do.
paraphrase. Oh,
Yeah.
please, come up.
Don't throw things at her, she's only the messenger.
I'm going to read it. It's entirely the reason why he vetoed. He just has one statement in there why he vetoed.
Yeah. Just stay down.
state university system to receive 5% annual merit salary increases based on satisfactory performance. While the bill is laudable in its goals of trying to raise wages and create salary, excuse me. Sorry, I lost it. Give it a second. Okay, while the bill is laudable in its goals of trying to raise wages and create salary progression for its support staff at CSU, most of whom are within the lower paid classifications, collective bargaining should be the tool to effectuate such changes. I do believe, however, that the CSU should undertake a diligent examination of pay disparities and opportunities for upward mobility in its lowest wage workers.
Thank
That
you.
was it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And of course, we have tried to do this from the bargaining table. It doesn't take away the responsibility of the governor to take care of all of the state employees. The CSU, once again, seems to be treated, I don't even want to say like a stepchild because I love my stepchildren. He is our leader and he's not leading. So, you know who's running for governor. I think it would be a good idea, and maybe we'll do this as a larger group, the whole union, or maybe we decide as a chapter that we want to start communicating with the guy we think is, maybe will be voted in as governor, the one that's lieutenant governor right now. Okay, vacancies. Now that you're sitting down, nobody can take a step backwards and leave someone standing up front. So I want you all to please consider that we need a Unit 2 representative. Unit 2 are the healthcare workers. They work out in the health center. And I don't see anybody here from the health center. Am I wrong? Okay, well, I was also going to compliment them on reaching their accreditation for another 3 years. They worked very hard on that, and they are hard workers. They're here for the students first and foremost, and I think they do a good job. Unit 5, which is roads and grounds and custodial. We are looking to train somebody, and if you have any questions, please contact Nick or me or Frank Polito. Unit 7 are the office workers, print shop workers, admin supports. Anyone else? Oh, they work in the library. We have some that work in the library, but, okay. And I can get you in touch with some really fine training. We need a vice president. And we are looking for a communications volunteer who's willing to get our Chapter 310 website up to date. We're lined up to meet with somebody from headquarters, but we need somebody here to get that training and get a running start. If you look at our website, don't tell me about it because I know it's awful. So don't go look at it. Okay, and are there any questions so far about being a volunteer? Do you want to ask like how many hours a week this is, or is it a paid position?
Is it a paid position?
It's from the heart. It's to give service, yes.
What are some benefits that people might not think of when they're thinking about making this kind of commitment?
Being in the know, knowing what's going on, to better your working conditions or your wellness.
I would say, if I may, knowledge is power, like,
Yep.
because I've had a lot of training this year. I got to talk to lawyers on the Supreme Court case, I got to meet with lieutenant governors, I've met with politicians, and I'm just a janitor from Bakersfield, but because I filled out the paperwork, they had to admit me, you know, and they had to listen to me. And I got my 5 minutes just like everyone else, and that's the thing, like, a citizen on their own will not get past the lobby. If you don't have a brother-in-law or a bag of money, you're not gonna get up there in Sacramento. And it's kind of like this is your only entrance. And that's kind of my opinion, and if you wanna see what's going on up there, it's a free ride and you get a lunch, $10.
Right. You do get mileage when you attend union activities. You're reimbursed mileage and
$10 per diem.
either Nick, stop teasing. You can't buy Taco Bell for $10. The responsibility is to learn the contract, and the more you know about the rules of the job, the better employee you're going to be. I have even managers calling me and asking me, can I do this? Can I do that? And if you know, you can help make the whole area around you better. Any other questions? Yes.
I would like to say 2 things. First of all, for some of us, it's an opportunity to use skills that we have but are not really required for our jobs. I mean, we got hired on to do one thing, but we're actually capable of doing quite a lot. Catherine is a very good example of that, you know, and Chris as well, Jenna, and Nick, and so that's one thing. In other words, if you have skills that are not really being used in your job and you want to use them, it's a good place to start. And the second thing is to consider that we've had 3 pay increases over the last, 3 years, which is, so there is money being put into your pocket because we have a strong chapter and we have a strong union. So there is a direct financial incentive to do that. I mean, I've never gotten a raise around here. Well, that's not true. Most of the raises I got were due to the fact that we negotiated them through a contract and not because anybody thought I was a fair-haired boy in the library or anything like that. So thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. James, any comment? No? Okay.
If I may say one more thing too, like, if you guys want to get paid in the future, you got to be involved in the union. I mean, the governor just said he's not going to do it. You got to meet him at the negotiating table. And guess what? You guys are Bakersfield negotiating people. If you guys don't do it, no one will. I retired. Catherine and I, we got, and Jan and everyone, we got $750,000 for you guys this year. $750K between the janitor and the art lady and the criminal justice lady. I see like 50 people in here. We could have got it all done and everyone went 1 hour. That's what I'm saying.
I
Why
never
did you
know when you're
retire?
teasing.
No, it's true. If you guys want to get paid in the future, you guys got to volunteer some time.
Okay, and I just want to say very quickly that we would like to take a group picture when we get ready to leave this afternoon. And we brought paper and markers, and the message that I thought would be a good one from Chapter 310 Bakersfield is to tell the legislature how many voting people in California that you have access to. Your sphere of, what's that word? Influence, thank you. And so for me, I counted my kids and stepkids, my grandkids, all of their spouses, and my husband and me. So my number is number 16, and when we line up out wherever we end up going, maybe outside, I would really appreciate it if each one of you would put a number on a piece of paper and hold it like this in front of you. So we are not just speaking for the 300 people on this campus. We're not just speaking for the 16,000 CSUEU represented employees. We're way beyond that. And I think a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Thank you. And treasurer's report.
Okay, so we are looking at our income, our dues has dropped because of the Janus, decision. So instead of getting $400 a month, we're getting $300. So we should end October, after paying for today's meal in the room, we should end up with $3,625.02. Unless there's any other expenses that show up that I haven't paid yet, but I think that everything should be in once I get the bill for today. But, so that should be our balance going into November. So, any questions about the money, treasurer?
Do you need a motion?
Yes,
Okay,
Jamie.
have we adjusted our budget to reflect the fact that we lost?
No, I did not change the budget, but remember I bring up from headquarters, they didn't change anything. So they're still going off of our original budget, even though the income is less. Yeah, cause I was surprised that they didn't change that part on the report that I got yesterday.
In our heads, we know we don't
Yeah.
have that much.
In our heads, we know we have $100 less, and it started in August, actually.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And do you need a motion?
Yeah, well, I move that we approve the treasurer's report.
Thank you, Jamie.
Need a second?
Any second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Got it, look at mine.
I'll just touch on what I did in my intro, but basically, all unit lists should be updated as of the employees report that I received early September. So again, if you're not receiving any communications, or if you notice you're not in the right list or something, just let me know. And Solidarity Wednesdays again, if you guys want to join us, wear blue tomorrow and every Wednesday. Show your support. Thank you guys.
Question,
Yeah.
meet in the street, is that still something we could do?
Yeah, so for our next campaign, whether it's that I'm just a bill or whatever, yeah, absolutely. That's something I've been, I know I talked to you about, yeah. So if that's something that we want to do, totally up for that, whatever our next thing is. Yeah, thank you. So look for that coming soon.
Frank was the third one, okay.
Oh, just to make sure they're all, they should all be up to date.
For those of you that don't know me, my name's Frank Polito. I'm a staff assigned from CSUEU. Your dues pay for my salary. I cover Bakersfield, Fresno, and Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I used to try to be here at least once a week, normally on Tuesdays. And we usually use that day to discuss current issues, current problems, and have a meeting with Kelly Garcia and Tina Williams regarding what's going on campus. A couple of things that Catherine has asked me to follow up. One is, how many of you have gotten injured on the job here? Hands raised. Okay. There's a form that HR has, it's also online. If you want to pre-designate a physician, your own personal physician, for any work-related injuries, okay? I would strongly encourage everybody to do this, because if you get injured on the job, normally what the university does is send you to their workers' comp doctor, and workers' comp system is here to protect the employer, not the employee, okay? So if you have pre-designated your own personal physician, that's who when you get hurt, you fill out the form, and you say, I have a pre-designated physician, that's who I want to see for the surgery, and your own personal doctor can send you to whatever specialty it may be, okay? Otherwise, if you don't have your own physician listed with HR, they will send you through the system. You cannot change doctors for the first 3 months. First 3 months are very critical, because that's when you're getting a lot of the treatment, they're doing evaluations, and at some point, they're gonna come up with some kind of a rating saying, well, you're injury is X amount of a permanent injury, if at all. Things of that nature. So this is really important for you to look into, and I would strongly urge everybody to do that. And let your coworkers, when you get back to your work sites today, let them know about that also. Any questions on this?
Yeah, I felt one time, what happened was, when I called my doctor and said I was back at work, they said, well, we don't take workers' comp. So specifying my own doctor, they might not see me.
Well, in that case, what I would do is talk to my personal doctor, say, okay, do you know another physician who does take workers' comp cases? Because I need somebody I can designate as opposed to being placed into the system there.
Okay, thank you.
I recently did this with Kaiser, and it wasn't my personal physician, but Kaiser has, I know a lot of us have Kaiser, has, down at Stockdale, if it's a work-related injury, you go to the workman's comp thing, and they sign the form, and I had it back in a day. So your physician has to agree to see you if
Right.
if you're injured, so that, you sign it and your physician signs it and you bring it back and fight with HR.
My employer, CSUEU, is covered, their workers' comp carrier is Kaiser, okay?
Oh,
That's also my personal
Nice.
health provider. So when I go there, they say, okay, you come in on your workers' comp claims that you have outstanding, or is this something separate? But again, once you're into that system, it's kind of hard to get out of it. Any other questions?
Is that a form we can find?
it's online.
It's online?
HR? Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Where online
CSUB.edu/DAS/HR files, workers' comp files.
It's called Dr.
Look at it.
Dr. Predesignation. It's pretty
The
easy.
other issue that Catherine has asked me to talk about is maximum number of vacation hours you can have on the books as of December 31st. If you've worked here less than 10 years, you can carry over 320 hours. If you've been employed here over 10 years, you can carry 440. That's your vacation hours, okay? If you think you're gonna be over the cap, you need to start putting in to use that time to get you underneath the cap. Because if you don't, if you have excess hours, you lose them. Come January 1st, you lose them. So, but if you start putting in, say, hey, I wanna take a week off here, I wanna take a couple of days off, get me under the 440 or 320, whatever it's gonna be. And they say, well, no, we can't afford to, have you gone, we're gonna have to deny that request. Once they deny the request, that amount can be carried over in addition to what the cap is. It's not automatic, you have to put in for a request, do it in writing, have them come back, give you the denial or approval in writing, then you'll be able to carry more hours than the cap, or they're gonna have to start letting you use some of that vacation time and before the 31st. Any questions on that? Okay. CTO, how many of you have CTO on the books? Okay, there's also a cap on CTO, so I would strongly encourage you to look at it. If you go over the cap, they have to pay you, okay? The downside is if you have a lot of CTO on the books, they can say, okay, we want you to take the next 2 months off, burn off the CTO. They can do that. It's not discretionary as to whether you want to save it till you retire or kick it over the next year and get it paid off. They can say, nope, you have 200 hours, from now to the end of the year, you're gonna be burning off CTO, all right? CTO is something they have control over. The language in the contract says it should be by mutual agreement what days, when you take time off. But if you don't agree, they're gonna still order you to take it off. I have a guy in Fresno who's 2 weeks ago was told, he has something like 440 hours. You're off on CTO for the rest of the year. Okay. He didn't want that. He's hoping to save some of that. He said, no, he has no control over it. Okay, so check your CTO balances when you get paid. Look at check stubs, see what kind of balances you have. Make sure you don't go with those caps, or that you start applying for vacation or whatever it may be. Any questions on that? Okay, thank you. One other thing, couple things. Catherine did not ask if anybody wanted to volunteer for one of those bargaining unit positions. That she can give you their extension is 3343.
Yes.
And you give her a call and say, hey, I might be interested, talk to her. It would be very helpful for the chapter. Believe me, it would be very, very helpful. I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Thank you.
As chief steward, my report is we are still dealing with evaluations problems. And I think that's all I can report out on that. Any other discussion?
Catherine, one more thing I was gonna say. We should be getting our hard copies of the new contract sometime next week, I think, hopefully. So when they come in, I think Catherine's gonna put out a notice, you know, try to get a copy, have at least one in your work area, but try to get one to take home. Because those are really the rules, it's your contract, individual contract between you and the university. Okay, so you should know what's in there and don't allow management who's, oh, you know, it's okay if you do this, and the contract says, no, you can't, or they shouldn't be doing that. So you should really read what's in the contract.
Thank you. Any other discussion items or questions?
I was just wondering, is there a communication in place that when the contract rolls out, that's sent to the management? So that they have copies, so they can read it?
Management does have the same document that we have.
Uh-huh.
They just have different interpretive notes. So that's when we find gray areas, we're saying, no, that shouldn't be happening, and they go, well, it can happen. It allows, the contract allows this to happen, and that's when we get into filing grievances. And there have been times when the difference of opinion has gone all the way up the line, and is settled with an outside party. Okay, who wants to have their picture taken now? Who wants to put how many? You want your picture taken? Did you want to go? Okay.
This is Jack's little boy Jamie.
Then I would say we're adjourned, but you can't leave until you have your picture taken.